Hey, welcome back to Rear Naked Truth. We're super pumped for today's episode. We're officially international people. We've got our boy Rob Wilkinson dialing in all the way from Australia, Tasmania to be exact. He's an ex-UFC vet, a past PFL Light Heavyweight champ, and an all-around badass human being. Super excited to talk to you, Rob. Welcome in, brother. What's going on, Rob? Thanks for coming in, my brother.
I'm good, Mike. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. Haven't seen you in, it's been a year, a couple of years, I feel like.
Couple of years, yeah.
You still living? Everything moving around still?
I'm still living. Everything's going. It's been a slow year.
You haven't had a fight, though, since, I believe, my birthday, man. May 1st, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah, being in the gym, it's just been slow. I thought I'd fight 2 more times this year. I thought I was going to fight in December. I thought that PFL were coming to Australia, but they haven't done that, so just been waiting.
Yeah, man. I was pissed about that last fight situation for you, brother. I felt like shit, but I know that, you've taken an L before and you know how to handle it. You still fucking reeling from that, or was that just it's over, we're moving on situation?
I mean, it's always frustrating losing. But yeah, I don't know. That's part of the sport. I don't try and get too held up on it or, too down on myself. It is what it is.
I feel like, man, one of the things that I always talk about with fighters and coaches as well is this idea that it's not football, it's not basketball. This isn't, there's not 82 games or 160 games in a season, right? One fight, win or lose, or, whatever the outcome is, it can totally change a mindset. It can change the career. And I feel like fighting doesn't get the necessary respect at times, given those circumstances. People don't talk about it enough.
Yeah. Yeah, a loss, I think, when you're only usually fighting or competing 2 or 3 times a year, I think it's a lot different than, as you said, when you're going out playing every weekend, whatever sport you're doing.
What are you doing in between fights when you're not in a training camp? What kind of keeps you even keel? Because I've heard a lot of guys tell me before that, if they don't have a camp, if they don't have, that goal on the horizon, idle time can get a little dangerous for them. How do you like to fill that usually?
Yeah, definitely. I find sometimes that, I think, lack of direction when you've got a fight, you're motivated. I'm very goal orientated. I've got the fight lined up. I've got my training lined up. I feel like I'm doing something, meaningful with my life. I've got a goal. I'm progressing towards my goal. And when you don't have a fight, sometimes you can definitely kind of just drop off mentally as well. Just kind of feels like, if you're not doing anything else, I don't know, if you're not progressing towards something, it's just slow.
I mean, I've been unemployed a couple of times in my career, and let me tell you, the only thing that I do is get in shape, and then I have no direction, and it's like the worst experience for me, man. I can't even imagine what it's like when you're a physical, active person like that all the time.
Yeah.
It's killer for me, but I'm not a fighter.
Yeah.
So which gym do you training out of when you're back home? I mean, do you guys still have the first gym that you started out at, or what do you really?
Yeah, so it's First Gym Hybrid Training Center, HTC in Hobart, training out of there. We've moved around a lot, changed ownerships. So 2 of my best mates, Khan and Chris, are running that gym, and they've been in my corner for most of my fights over, one of them at least had flown over to America when I was fighting, had a Factory X and would corner me as well. So back there, and then I'm also going over to New Zealand for a few weeks at a time when I've got fights booked to train at City Kickboxing.
I didn't know you were doing that. You working with Eugene and the crew over there?
Yeah. So I'm going to head back over there in a couple of weeks again.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
They've got plenty of guys my size, which is, I think, one of the main things. Obviously a great gym, great fighters, and they've got a bunch of heavy guys, which is good.
You get to spar with Olberg a little bit over there, or no?
Yeah. Olberg, Izzy, a guy like Cam Ralston, he just had made his UFC debut. I used to train with him in Sydney, 9 years ago. We used to train together a lot. He moved over to New Zealand. He just got in the UFC and got his first win.
He's looking real good, man. Real promising.
He's awesome. He's had a very, very hard road to the UFC, a few just unfortunate roadblocks, not anything he could do about. But yeah, and then finally got there, which is awesome.
I mean, you've obviously been in PFL for a couple of, years now and a champ from a few years back as well. Is is the road back there something that's still on the horizon for you, or are you kind of happy with the home that you found at PFL these days?
I'm very happy with the PFL, but UFC is always, it's the
It
one
is
that
what it
everyone
is.
knows. It's the one that started it. So it'd always be nice to go, finish your career there. It's the
Mhm.
biggest. I've fought there and lost there before, so it'd be nice to go and get some wins there. But at the same time, PFL looking after me and happy with them at the moment.
Yeah, I gotta say, man, I still don't understand that whole situation. And, looking back at a lot of your fights when I was doing a lot of research, in anticipation of our conversation, it was kind of an interesting experience, 2 fights. I mean, the same thing happened to, our buddy who introduced us, Dustin Jacoby. It was a 2-fight contract, and then they cut him right after that, and I don't understand how after 2 fights, you didn't even get to see the best version of yourself, you know what I mean? It's such an interesting, strategy or decision making on the matchmaker's parts. I don't understand what you thought you could have seen in 2 fights, so that was
Yeah,
weird to me.
yeah. I mean, that's kind of what they do. It's rough, but yeah, mine was a 4-fight contract, 2 fights, 2 losses, and then I just get told by my manager that was it.
Oh, fuck
Yeah,
them for that, buddy.
yeah,
Dude, I was thinking about how you're 33, right?
yeah.
Yeah. You've already been in this sport over a decade, man. That is an insane number of years of experience, I feel like. Most guys now, I guess they're coming in earlier, but 10, 12, 13, 14 years, this is a long time for you. I feel like I mean, physically, I feel like you're probably just approaching your peak. I mean, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, I think for my weight class as well, kind of 33, the next, 4 or 5 years are probably potentially my best years, and then call it quits. It's kind of weird being at the point where I'm at. I can see the finish. Like I've never, it's always been ages away, and now it's like 33. It could end.
I change that number of male physical peak every year I get older. I keep
Yeah,
upping it a little bit more. Being 38, I'm almost breathing down the neck of a fucking old man. So I'm trying to tell myself that
it's peak. Alex
38's peak,
Pereira. Yeah,
right? We're not all built like Alex Pereira. That's for damn sure.
yeah. Nah, yeah. I used to think I'd be done by early 30s, 35. Now I'm like, 38.
Well,
Who
I mean, dude,
knows?
you fight so aggressively. You're a maniac in there. Why did you change your name, by the way? I read that you said you used to be called the Tasmanian Devil. That was the nickname.
Nah,
That's
that was
not
my
real.
coach's name. Nah, that wasn't real. My coach's name was the Tasmanian Devil.
That's a badass name. If you could have had that, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Rob's obviously calling in from Tasmania. Man, I've been talking to Kelly. We want to try to get out there soon. I don't know. And I was actually, so I got, and I was in like getting my hair cut today, right? We're in a barber shop, and these guys know that I have a pod, and they're all MMA fans. And I told them we were talking tonight, and then we got to talking about specifically just the journey to Australia. How hard was it for you, especially when you were fighting in the States or whenever you fight not in Australia, is the travel on when you arrive, acclimating to the time zone, the climate and shit like that? Is that a battle before the fight even?
It's a long flight. It's a bit of a battle. I make sure I get in a bit early, but I don't know what it is. Going to America, I don't find I'm too bad, but when I come back, that's
Mhm.
kind of when it hits me. Usually, like, I don't know what it is about the time zone, but coming back is the one that always kind of gets me.
Is coming back here, I mean, I know obviously we met while you were still kind of training at factory. Is coming back here to train or anything? Is that on the horizon? Or you kind of planted the roots back home and that's an experience you've already had?
Yeah, probably not. I mean, I've talked about it. I talked to kind of Cody and a fair bit still, and he wants me to come back. And I don't know, maybe I've had a fight lined up, and it just kind of worked out to come over for a little time or a couple of months. I do
Mhm.
miss it. I do miss it, but yeah, I chose to come back here for family and kind of try and make it work
I
here.
bet Cody selfishly just wants you to come back so you guys can get that training in because I was just in Denver a couple months ago. We're actually going back for some episodes in about 2 weeks. All of those guys still call you the hardest worker, the hardest trainer in the gym, brother. So everybody's singing your praises over there. I think they probably miss you beating their asses every day in the gym.
I miss the gym, man. It was always a good time, and just being. I mean, that's kind of the hard thing being here is like being in a gym full of professional fighters that all have the same goal as you, all pushing it. Where
Mhm.
I'm at a gym, we've got some really good fighters and we've got some good training partners, but not everyone. It's not like we have a huge room of guys full of fighters that are, doing it full time or don't have another job or whatever it is, like got other commitments where it's good being in a room full of guys that have the same goal as you and same dream as you.
That was one thing because we filmed our episodes a couple months ago, actually in Coach's office, Mark's office, and I didn't, it was my first experience really being in the gym when everybody was in there. And I didn't realize how much of there is definite team aspect to this sport that I don't think people get to see because when you're just watching, the cornermen, the walkout, and then the fights on, the pay-per-views or the fight nights, whatever, um, you don't really get that sense of sort of team camaraderie. But man, did I see it when I was in the gym and watching all these guys and girls just go 100 miles per hour.
Yeah, definitely. If you don't have a team, like it's hard to, I mean, you can go out and train and push yourself by yourself, but without a team pushing you and trying to make you better and you trying to be better than each other, or one person's having a good day, one person's having a shit day, you're pushing that guy to still get up and train.
What did you tracking any of the stuff that was happening with the betting and shit like that falling around factory a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I saw it, all that, and I messaged Cody and just asking what was up. Obviously, like, the gym and stuff has nothing to do with that. I had no idea if Isaac did or
Hmm.
didn't do that at all, but you see the fallout from it all.
It sucks, man, because I feel like, I mean, all of my experiences with Mark, he's just the best guy, best family. I appreciate, how he's let us use the gym. He's let us use their platform to help, sort of kickstart our own little project here. And it couldn't have happened to a worser guy. And I watched the Ariel interview. I don't know if you saw that when he came on. It's clearly a hard situation for all those guys, but talking to DJ, talking to Cody, everybody seems to be coming together and rallying really hard. So I'm happy to hear all that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's rough because Mark, I mean, he just generally wants the best for everyone at that gym. He always wants them to be the best fighter they can be, but as he said in that interview, like the best person they can be as well, like not just fighter, just like he just wants the best out of everyone who goes and trains there. So yeah,
Do
you
you
see it's
feel
hard on
like
him.
do you feel like your time with Factory really progressed your development as a fighter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if Cody, Dustin, and Mark just want to fly over to Australia to start up a gym, that would be great. It was a hard decision. Yeah, it'd be a hard decision to leave. I think Mark's an amazing coach. Yeah, it's just hard living on the other side of the world.
I can't even imagine that, brother. And you were there for
Yeah.
what, like a full year or 2 years? How long was that?
I did three years over there, but I'd come back like kind of once the season was done. Or if I didn't have, once the season was done, I'd fly back. So I usually had got a few months at home.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, and then 3 years over there.
So what are you trying to get a fight booked here within the next couple of months? Is there any chat over anything? Are you healthy, by the way? I didn't even ask that. Is your body good right now?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm ready to go. And I have just been booked. I just found out like a week or so ago.
Oh, congrats, brother.
So I'll be fighting in February, start of Feb, over in Dubai.
In Dubai. Might have to come see that one. I've heard crazy things about Dubai. You've been there, right?
I haven't.
Oh no. That place is stealing everything, I feel like, dude, between what's going on with boxing, obviously, the relationship that Dana and the UFC have over there, PFL as well now. I need to get over there, man, but that place has got to be the most expensive place you could probably visit.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. But it would, I'm excited. Like to one of my goals when I was started fighting was just to travel, be able to fight and travel the world. So I've never been to Dubai, so it's a good chance to go get a fight over there and
I,
explore.
is that I've asked this of Aussies before. Are Australians like traveling, right? Is that like a thing within the culture when you guys are like younger, you finish university or whatever? Well, I've met a lot of Australians who are like, this is kind of the life, after school we'll go and travel the world. Is that a real thing?
Yeah, I think after like year 12, so before going to uni or college for you guys, it's very common. People take a gap year or two and go traveling, save up some money and just go off for, 6 months.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
was telling these guys earlier today in the barber shop, I was talking about how every time I've met an Australian, they're usually the most savage, hilarious, and crazy people I've ever met. And some of them watched the pod, and I was bringing up this story about how at the end of every pod, whoever I'm interviewing, I let them choke me out. And I was telling them about how you won't be able to do it physically, but you choked the shit out of me the first time we met. And I was totally not expecting that. Dude, I didn't ever tell you, I don't know if I told you this, but I think you broke my fucking Adam's apple when you did that. I couldn't swallow for a week straight after that.
No way.
Yeah, yeah. But to be honest, out of everybody who's choked me out so far, Cody's gonna get pissed when he hears this. You choked me out the hardest. So if there was any glory in that, I'm trying to just.
I'd take some glory in that.
What does life look like after fighting for you, Rob? I mean, I'm jumping right into a question, but this is something I ask every fighter. Is fighting always going to be in the blood? Are you going to try to stay in the sport, or is there other things that you still want to accomplish that are totally outside of fighting?
Yeah, honestly, I used to always think I would just move on. Like once I'm done fighting, I'd kind of be done. Lately, I've thought maybe I'd like to coach, like fighters, like the gym at home, like we have down here. I'd love to, currently, a couple of my best mates own it and potentially kind of buy into it with them and maybe run the gym. I'd like to coach like fighters, not just like general pop or anything like that, but just actual people who want to fight. After, I guess, however many years I've done this, it's already been 13, 14 years. I feel like I've learned a lot and could, give that back. And it's cool seeing so many young guys now at our gym, 15, 16-year-olds that say they want to make the most out of this and, they want to make a living out of fighting. So it'd be cool to give back in that way and coach some young guys. But beyond that, I don't know. And at the moment, I really just want to buy a boat, sailing boat when I'm done and
You know how to
sail around
sail?
the world. No.
Oh,
I used to
well,
sail when I was a kid, but my dad used to take me, but you can learn.
I'm sure. I mean, you build the plane as you're flying it, sort of thing. I was going to say, what does the scene look like in Tasmania from an MMA perspective? Is it growing? Is it stale? Like, is there an appetite on the island for fighting still, or would you have to move mainland or whatever?
I think it's definitely growing. There's a promotion down here. It does like, kickboxing, boxing, MMA. Well, there's two, one kind of the north of the island. They do a fair few shows a year. The gym we're at, we've got close to about 300 members. It's crazy.
Oh, no
for
shit.
a small island. Yeah. And as I said, there's heaps of young guys now that are like been training since they've been like, 14, 15 and maybe they're like 17, 18 now and they're all good fighters and a bunch of them just like, have the goal of UFC or PFL or whatever it is, they want to make a living out of fighting, which is cool to see. Because I remember when I started, 14 years ago, no one even knew what the sport was down here.
Really?
I mean, yeah, you'd have to kind of say cage fighting and people would look at you funny. This was 14 years ago. And no one had the goal of like, or even thought that you could make a career off that. But
Yeah.
that's, I don't know, since day dot, that was my goal. That was like, I just want to do this.
I know I've asked you before, you were a wrestler, right? For a while as well?
My coach was more grappling based, so wrestling, jiu-jitsu, judo, but I never did like, it's not like America where we have wrestling at school or anything like that. I never did any of that. But just when I got into it, like my coach, Priscus, didn't know much striking, but he was a very good grappler. Just take everyone down, ground and pound or submit them. And so that's kind of what my style was for a long time.
Did you, when you were growing up, when you were kind of like looking into start becoming a fighter more professionally, were you a bit of a baddie in your younger years? Did you get into a lot of street fights at all, or was that never even something that popped up?
I definitely got in some street fights. I've definitely been, Not heaps, but a decent amount of fights. Just being young. You've I don't think you met my mate Chris Drummond. You know, Chris and Khan, they're the two guys who own the gym. And we were just, you know, young, dumb 20-year-olds, knew how to fight. And we didn't try and get in fights, but, you know, that sometimes happens. We ended up trying to we'd take the piss out of fights because you'd be out drinking and, you know, there's some, we call them bogans and tough, or people who just like look like they're looking for fights and they'd bump into you or whatever. And we got to the point where like we can't keep getting in fights because we know how to fight, and you just like, you know, just fuck up a couple of people and you never know what's going on. I don't want to, I don't want to get arrested. I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to do any of that. You know, one fight that, you know, I did knock out a guy and that kind of scared me because he starfished back, and I thought, shit, did I kill someone? Like, I had to come back, make sure it was okay. Yeah.
I feel like every fighter ends up saying that. Like the second you really learn how to fight and you know how to avoid getting hit and making every hit land, you start to feel this responsibility. Like, I can't do this shit anymore.
We used to, you know, people, if they started a fight with us, would sometimes drop to our knees and beg them not to fight us. Please, please. And they'd just look at us like, what the fuck is going on? And we'll just
It's
like,
one way to
walk off.
diffuse the situation, I feel like.
Just walk off pissing ourselves laughing because we're like, I don't know.
I don't know if you saw that. Ronda Rousey's been like in the media lately, right? Like she's been getting some videos saying some weird shit about Rogan, about, you know, the UFC in general and fans specifically, fight fans. She said something that I saw where she was talking about Rogan, right? And how he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about because he's never really fought. And I was been thinking about that for the last 2 weeks straight, realizing that I have a podcast where I talk to fighters and I talk about fighting. Because of that, I've been feeling like a little Fight Club-ish where maybe I should go out and get my ass kicked so that maybe I'll have a little bit more credibility in this community. Be like, no, I've gotten into some fights. I've knocked somebody out. I've been knocked out. And I feel like, I don't know if that's a good idea or not.
Like on the street or like in a professional sense?
Maybe both. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's been a long time. It's been about 15 years since I got into a fight on the street. I'm pretty sure I won that one. I ended that. But no,
Yeah.
I mean, Dustin's been telling me to go to factory and then maybe just pad up and let somebody beat the shit out of me a little bit.
Just get in the cage and do some rounds.
Yeah. If I come to Tasmania, you let me get in there and you just beat me up a little bit.
Definitely. I mean,
Perfect.
I feel like there's a good reason for you to come to Australia. I don't know if that's been announced yet, but I think you might know what I'm talking about.
No. Why? I mean, I'm a little hungover today.
I don't know if I'm stealing thunder right now, but I believe he's booked for Australia.
You're kidding me.
No.
We were just chatting for like an hour straight on FaceTime. You didn't even tell me. I didn't know that's where he was booking it. But now I'm going to give him shit as soon as we hang up and be like, I didn't know that's where it was, but you're obviously going to go, right?
Well, it's pretty annoying. It's like the same time I'm fighting in Dubai. I've been wanting him to fight in Australia since I left, and then they're finally coming over and I'm going to be in Dubai.
Well, how about this? Now that I know that it's there, I'll extend my trip and we'll just have to meet up wherever is, how do I get to Tasmania? Just fly a plane from wherever to get over there?
Either
Or
Dallas
do you take like
or
a boat
LA.
or something?
You can take a boat if you want. It might take a while.
How many miles or kilometers is it away?
I don't know.
I'm making this a geography podcast now. Sorry.
It's about a 14-hour flight or 15-hour flight from Dallas, direct flight to
No,
Melbourne.
I'm talking about from Australia to Tasmania.
Ah, Australia to Tasmania.
Yeah, how far is it?
You can get a ferry, overnight ferry, about 8 hours on a boat. But to fly from Hobart to Melbourne, which is the closest city, is about an hour, 50 minutes on a plane.
I'm in. It's over. We might as well book it.
Book it.
So hopefully you go, you knock out whoever is across the cage from you, and you got one of your mates from Chicago in who's going to be chilling, and we'll celebrate.
Well, you could do this, come to Australia for his fight. On the way back, fly through Dubai. Both of you guys come into my fight.
Yeah.
And then chill out in Dubai.
I'll have to check with my my financier to make sure the budget's got that to account for. But if that can work, I would absolutely fucking do it.
Just do a couple of podcasts on the way.
I mean,
work
dude,
thing.
You're helping it out right now. This is,
Mhm.
you're putting food on my son's plate, Rob. I appreciate you. So when do you get into your training camp? When does that start up for you? Or are you already in one?
I mean, I'm about 12 weeks out now, so I'll start picking it up.
Mhm.
But I'm going to New Zealand in 2 weeks, and that'll kind of be the start. I'll do the
Um,
first couple of weeks there.
what do you usually do? 10 weeks, 8 weeks?
Yeah, it depends how much notice you get, but 10 weeks is like a decent amount. Yeah.
What's the hardest part about training camp for you? The dieting, just the constant like activity? What is that?
I think the dieting,
Yeah.
I don't know. Talking about getting older, I just find it hard to lose weight now. I
What
don't
do
know
you
what's
usually
going
walk
on.
around at?
Pounds? I'm like 108 right now, which is,
You're a super thick guy. When I met you before, I couldn't believe how fucking, your back is gigantic. But I mean, I don't know how you guys lose that kind of weight. I mean, you usually have to what, drop like 15 kilos before a fight?
yeah, I mean, I'm like 240 or just under 240 now,
You're 240?
238 or something.
Jesus fuck, man. What do you stay eating healthy when you're in between fights, or do you pig out?
I mean, I've been picking out.
Yeah.
I just had nothing booked for so long, and then I just kept getting heavier. But even now, like I've been eating healthy, and I just don't. Like I never used to have to count calories and all that shit to lose weight, but now I have to actually dial in and
Mm-hmm.
check what I'm eating and make sure I'm not eating too much.
So it's going to be like a gradual drop off, is what you're saying. Like every week you get through camp, you lose a couple of pounds here, a couple pounds there
Yeah,
situation.
ideally, I'd try and start losing 2 pounds a week from now.
Yeah.
I'd like to do it earlier. Sometimes I kind of wait till I get too close to the fight, and then it makes it harder. If I can be strict now, drop some weight, and then kind of go in, because then I'll go in around. I'll drop from about 225 fight week down to 205.
Haven't you fought at heavyweight before as well?
Boxing, but not kickboxing, but not MMA.
I mean, you ever thought about going up to heavyweight? I mean, you'd be at a good weight for it right now.
Yeah, actually, I do think about it. And then I'm fat. No, just it's hard to lose weight. It would be nice to have a heavyweight fight before I'm done. But then sometimes you look at some of the guys are like 6 foot
They're
bloody
big fuckers.
8 and just huge. And it's like, fuck.
Yeah, I mean, nobody wants to fight Alexander Volkov. That guy's like a fucking skyscraper.
Mm,
You're 6'3", though, right? You're pretty
yeah.
tall yourself.
Yeah.
Speaking of big fuckers like that, who would you say is your hardest fight you've had? MMA. Or is that giving
Uh,
him too much credit? You don't want to say that.
oh, I don't know. Hardest fight? Scariest fight was probably fighting Thiago
He's a
Santos.
scary motherfucker.
Because I remember thinking about going up to, because I used to be middleweight. I used to think about
Yep.
going up to light heavyweight. And then he was like a big reason I didn't want to go up, because I was like, there's people like that. And he's terrifying.
Did he, I haven't watched that fight in a while, but remind me, was he throwing those nasty leg kicks when you fought him?
He's throwing the body. He's got that good, like from Southpaw, so it's that hard liver kick.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the first kick he threw, like first round, he threw a big liver kick and it hit his foot, hit my elbow. And I was like, I just knew that would have hurt him. And I was just thinking, hope that stops you from trying to fucking kick my body.
Dude, I don't know. Do you remember when he fought John Jones and like tore
Yeah.
both of his ACLs in that fight? I still thought he won that fight, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I did one of those like little oblique side kicks to his knee in my fight.
Uh-huh.
And that's not really like a move I'm good at. And then I kind of thought, am I just going to piss him off? And is he going to go, like, am I just going to make him angry trying to kick his little shitty knees? And is he going to skits out at me?
Do you remember when Whitaker was fighting Yoel back to back, and he tore his leg? Yoel tore his leg in the first fight, and so then the second fight he kept aiming for that same knee that he hit before. Maybe it's something with you guys, you Aussies. You just want to break people's legs.
Break the legs.
You said you had one boxing match. What was that like?
It was during COVID times. I had like 2 MMA fights cancelled. I couldn't, everything kept getting shut down. And there was a boxing card in Tasmania where I'm from. And I just got offered a fight for a Tasmanian title.
Mm-hmm. Do you like boxing? Is that something you think maybe you go back to before you're done fighting?
I have thought about it. I liked it a lot more than I thought I'd like it. I started with boxing when I was 16, I was doing boxing, and then 17 started doing MMA.
Dude, there might not be a better time to get into boxing these days. I feel like anybody with a fucking YouTube channel can now just create their own promotion, book their
Yeah.
own, production and get into it. Did you hear Paul and Joshua got announced? What's your take on that whole YouTube personality boxing trend that's happening right now?
I mean, it's kind of weird, but Jake Paul's, I mean, he's committed to boxing. He's done a good job.
Mhm.
Like, everyone loves to hate him and loves to talk shit about him, but he's been fighting. He's making money. He's excited. Like, people are tuning in to watch him. And he's actually got better at boxing. Like, it's not like he's fucking around. He's like actually became a boxer, but, like, what's this fight? Is this just to tune in to watch him get knocked out? Because that's,
I mean, that's what I'm gonna do.
I mean, yeah, I'm excited to watch him. I don't know. It's weird.
I think
It's
he's going
weird.
up against an Adonis and Anthony Joshua. I feel like that's the most dangerous thing he could have ever. He was looking for Ngannou. I don't know if you heard about that either. And Ngannou took it as a wait. No, he's not serious. He doesn't want to really box me. And then he goes and books the guy who knocked out Ngannou. So I give him credit, man. He's got balls.
Big balls.
Also, though,
Big
to your
balls.
point, when you have unlimited resources, you know what I mean? It feels like anybody with dedication, unlimited resources can find a way to get good at something after a while.
Yeah, well, I think he said he spends like $1 million each camp on his training.
That's ridiculous,
Probably,
man.
probably more now, but yeah, that was like years ago.
Did you think he had the fix in when he fought Tyson?
I don't know, man.
It was such a joke, man. It was sad.
They sold it well because I showed Tyson for like 2 or 3 second clips looking fast and mean and powerful. But you can do that once or twice and then you're done.
You think there's any world where you would do something like that in your mid to late 40s? Take a fight, take a boxing match like that?
I think for the right money, you'd probably do anything to be honest. I'd fight
My
anyone.
dad, whenever I talk to him about like, DJ will be like, he's like, oh, what did DJ make on this fight? I'll be like, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, you could pay me that money. I'll go in there and fight Dustin for, X amount of
Yeah,
dollars. I'm like, nobody wants to see you fat old ass going and get knocked out by a guy half your age though. So no one's going to pay for
yeah,
that.
yeah. That's the thing. People are like, oh, I'd fight for $1 million. I'm like, but would you fight for 10 years for pretty much no money just to get to the chance to be able to fight for $1 million? That's the thing.
If you had kids, would you encourage or discourage them from getting into the game?
Hard one. Hard one. I've got a kid. I've got a kid on the way actually.
Congratulations, brother.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
amazing, man.
Very excited. That was kind of one of the main reasons moving back to Australia was to start a family and be around our family. Yeah, so that's exciting. I haven't really publicly announced it yet, but here you
I
go.
appreciate you sharing that with us, man. That's awesome. Congrats to you and Paris, dude.
Yeah, we're very excited. But yeah, I think could be. I mean, unless they just want like obsessed over it, I wouldn't encourage them to be doing it.
I
I'd want
mean,
them to train and know how to defend themselves and
mhm.
everything. Like you'd want to teach them, but yeah, unless they're like you could see that that's their passion, then I wouldn't be just saying to do that because
There's going to be a period though when like that kid's 7 years old, they have their YouTube account, or they're destroying your algorithm with their YouTube videos, and they find old videos of daddy beating people's ass, and they're going to be like, why were you so angry? Can I be this angry? Can I do that? You're going to have to field these questions.
yeah. Well, we've got my nephew, Paris's nephew. He's 6, and
Mhm.
I think he is probably going to be a fighter. He loves it. He watches all my fights. He loves it. He just loves training. He loves me holding pads for him.
Can he throw?
He can throw down, and he's not like doesn't care. He like goes up against bigger kids. Goes to our gym, does like a kids class, and
Mhm.
like has zero fear. He's got an older brother, and he'll just beat the shit out of his older brother. Doesn't care if his older brother hits him in the face. He's just like bites down and starts swinging at him.
Hunter, my son, he's like 7.5. He's really dug into football, American football this year. I mean, we practice. Season's been over for a couple months, and we still practice every day that he's here.
Yeah.
And he also watches a lot of the fights with us. He knows that like every night or every Saturday when we get the fights on, he gets like half of the time he gets to just go on his iPad uninterrupted because we're, locked in. And then the other half he's sitting there watching with us, and he always gets amped up after all these fights. And his mom used to be like, I don't know if he should be watching that. I'm like, because, he can get a little aggressive after these fights. But then,
Yeah.
I grew up watching this shit. Did you guys have access to UFC when you were growing up? Like, could you see it from Australia?
Man, I don't remember watching UFC. I remember just watching old YouTube like fights of
Mhm.
like UFC when I was probably 16. That's probably when I didn't even know about MMA till I was about 16.
No shit. And you
Yeah.
watched it, and that's kind of what inspired you to get into it?
Yeah, yeah. I remember because I always wanted to, I don't know, I always wanted to do some sort of fighting. I always like watching anything related to that. And I had a boxing bag at home that I used to just go punch. And then I got into boxing. I remember someone at a party saying that they did MMA, and I was like, "There's a gym in Hobart," and asked about it. And then next week went to that gym and started training.
That's it. It was that
But I
it
was
was that
watching,
that
I was watching Randy Couture highlights and watching Randy Couture beat the shit out of people on YouTube. And then this guy at a party was talking about it. It's like, what, you can do that? It's like,
is
you can
is he
train
your
that?
favorite fighter of all time?
Randy. I mean, he was one of them. I think GSP is probably up there.
Yeah.
I used to love, that was kind of like when I was really getting in and watching all the UFCs, I was watching GSP just dominate everyone.
I was talking with one of my buddies when I got into watching MMA when I was about 7, 8 years old, like literally like right when it started, the first couple of like UFC 1 through 4. I started watching it. In the States, we had these things called a hot box, right? So it was a cable box that you would pay the cable guy like $100, and he would give you all the free channels, and it was illegal. So we would watch all that shit for free on pay-per-view just because it was on and we didn't know what it was. And this was back when
Yeah.
they were still headbutting, guys were wearing shoes, beating the shit out of each other. It was an insane time.
Yeah.
What did you make of that card, if you caught it at all, last weekend?
It was exciting. Yeah, all the fights up into the 2 title fights were exciting anyway.
Do you get to cross paths with JDM ever, or does he lives in Western Australia, I believe?
Yeah, Western Australia, I haven't met him actually before. I've met most of I met lots of the Aussie guys, but I haven't met him before. But it was rough. Yeah.
It was rough for him. I was really hoping that he'd win that. I picked him to win. He just didn't seem like he fought the same fight as he did against Bilal, who ironically was training, I think, with Islam and Habib for his fight against Jack.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, I thought he'd do better, but Islam, I don't know. Does it just say how good Islam is, or did he have a bad night? It's hard to tell.
When you're in the cage like that, can you tell before the bell rings if it's going to be a good or a bad night? Like, how you're going to perform, or is it just something that happens real time?
I think real time, because sometimes you can feel like it's going to be rough. Sometimes you feel amped up. It's hard. Sometimes you just feel flat, but
Mhm.
then you can still go out there and make it happen.
Is it ever the case when, like, because you hear the commentators during the fight, right? It'd be DC, whomever, John Anik, they'll be like, that kind of woke him up. Is there ever a time where you're like, yeah, I got cracked and that woke me up and I started fighting better after that? Or is that complete bullshit?
I remember not like getting cracked. I remember early fight, I was just, I don't know, I was not pumped up for the fight, and I was looking over the cage, and this guy, his name's Kit Campbell. He's actually might be about to get in the UFC now, and he was just looking angry and mean and just jacked up, and I was just like, I don't want to be here. I was just like, fuck, I don't know. Can we do this another day? And he came out and he took me down, and I was on my back. And the fight before that, he took the guy down and just started dropping elbows and knocked him out with elbows. And I just remember thinking shit, he's going to elbow the fuck out of me right now. And then I was just like, fuck, I better do something. I better do something. Ended up moving and catching him in a triangle, guard, and he postured up to try and hit me, and I caught him in a triangle straight away.
It's so weird to hear you say that, because I feel like you're so known for this very aggressive, just, guns a-blazing fight style. And then to know that, like, there's points even while you're fighting like that where you're not feeling like you're there, you're not pumped up for it. I mean, it's got to be so much more mental than physical to be a fighter, I feel like.
Yeah. I mean, going back to like fighting, 2 or 3 times a year compared to other sports where you might compete every weekend or multiple times a week, especially early on in your career, like learning what mindset works for you or like how amped you should be. Like, one of my buddies, Chris, he used to get way too amped up, but he can switch on like that, but he'd be amped up all fight day. And then he'd often go out there to almost with like his usual his energy and he's like a bit drained, where now he just stays like super relaxed right up until pretty much like we're warming up. And he does way better like that. And getting too amped up, like saying like, you trying to fire yourself up and you just want to go kill them or saying, but like then you might lose all your technique or, like is that balance for what works for you? Like how aggressive you want to be, how amped up you kind of want to get yourself. And it's hard.
Gaethje always says he enters the fights, he tries to be as emotionless as possible. And obviously not having fought, that's always a hard thing for me to comprehend. Like, the fear of getting into a fight, the anxiety that carries, in the walkouts, and then to be emotionless. He seems to say that makes him fight better. You think there's truth in that?
I mean, if it works for him, I honestly think everyone's different.
Yeah.
And you hear people say like, oh, if you're not scared, or like, I don't believe anyone that says they're not scared to fight. I'm like, I don't know. I don't necessarily feel like I'm like, everyone's different. I like some of the best I've ever felt. I've just been like so excited to get out there. I'm feeling good. I'm fucking know I've trained. I'm just fucking amped. And sure, you get nerves, but I don't know. I tell myself the nerves is excitement. I'm excited. I'm fucking pumped. And like, your music plays, you run out there and yeah.
What's your
Some of
walkout
the,
song? Or do you
I
change
change
it
it
every
up.
time?
Yeah, I change it up. One of my favorite ones was Back in Black by AC/DC. And that was 2024, the first round of the tournament in Vegas. I don't know, we got to walk through the crowd that time instead of like, the PFL, sometimes you just walk down the ramp.
Yeah.
Walk through the crowd and
It gets everybody going, that song.
everyone was for some reason, they were just chanting my name. I was like, kind of,
They were chanting your name because you're fucking badass, man. That had to be.
I know, but I'm like, I'm in America, I never know. But the guy was from England and they were all just chanting my name and the song came on and I was just fucking, I just remember it was.
You got any ideas
so
for the next fight coming up, or is it like a game time decision?
Song-wise, yeah. I've been listening to a lot of, lately my songs have been coming from like Fred again, like just some, that sort
He's
of
on
music,
a tear
like
right now, man.
He just released a good song.
I know which one you're talking about. I listened to it the other day.
Yeah.
I didn't know
so
you
maybe
were,
that one.
you're into EDM, Rob?
That sort of music, yeah. We just went to Melbourne and watched, do you know Rufus?
Of course.
Yeah, we just went and watched Rufus in Melbourne on Friday night. It was cool.
That's like a bucket list for me, to see Rufus at like Red Rocks or something like that.
Yeah. I saw them in America when I know there was, we went for a road trip and we saw it. It was cool.
I bet that was fucking life-changing, dude.
Yeah, they were a good time. I used to listen to a lot of rap coming out, but now just like anything that just kind of pumps me up, like makes me just good music, good beat, kind of.
Is this first fight going to be then, is that like the start of the next tournament? So then you get back into the bracket trying to chase down that 1 mil again?
Nah, the tournament's over. They've announced they're not doing the tournament anymore.
So, okay, so it's going to be more traditional?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was getting a bit confusing. When they got Bellator, they got too many fighters. Like this year, they did the tournament, but then they had other guys fighting for like the regular belt. Then they have like a tournament belt. They halved the money for the tournament as well. It was like $500,000, not $1 million. I think it was one less fight. It was like 3 fights instead of 4 fights. It was just getting a bit confusing. So I think it's probably a good thing just doing like a champion that defends their belt. And yeah.
I was going to say, do you feel like the tournament was conducive to your success, or do you like sort of the more traditional format?
I mean, I can't argue with the tournament. When the first year I went in and won it and won $1 million and won a world title. So you can't really do that in any promotion if it's just a traditional style.
$1 million will get you a lot of cheeseburgers, bro.
Oh man, so many cheeseburgers.
I was going to ask you, there's this interesting thing that I always like to talk about where I feel like people who know that they're either, if you're out at a restaurant, if you're out at a bar, whatever you're doing, they find out you're a fighter, and then immediately everybody wants to get real hard with you and want to test, how how imposing if you're the alpha. Do you experience that when you go out and people know that you're a fighter, or you tell them you're a fighter?
Yeah, you experience some people, or I don't know, since I'm a pretty relaxed guy, I think some people are like not sure about it, or they try and tell you fight stories or how to fight, or I don't even know. Even just yesterday at an airport, it was a nice guy, and we're just chatting to this guy and his kid next to us. We were waiting for the airport, and Paris said I was a fighter, and then they started watching one of my fights, and then he was like, he said to his son, he's like, yeah, Dad could not beat this guy up, unless you got a lucky punch in early, or maybe if I got him early. And I was just thinking he's already talking himself up like now he can beat me all of a sudden. Like he didn't want to say that I definitely beat him. I'm like,
Did you just the amount of aggression that comes from people when it's like telling somebody you're an arms dealer, right? And then they're like, "Oh, I should go rob that guy's house," thinking he doesn't have, every fucking gun imaginable. It's the most ridiculous mindset. Did you see that? I think the most interesting fight on the card last week, by the way, was the Dylan Dennis brawl in the crowd. Did you check that out?
yeah, I saw a little bit of that. Yeah.
Oh my God, the fact that they still let that guy into those events, which apparently
Yeah.
they're not going to
Crazy.
do anymore, is a joke.
Yeah.
I always say whenever, and it's different, right? Like usually if you're at a fight, right, you're either cornering or you're in the fight. But when you're in attendance as a fan, the amount of chests pumped out and the amount of like just trying to assert dominance in the crowd is the craziest experience, man. All of these guys walk around with their Venom fight gear shirts on, and they're just like, they're trying to be so fucking hard. It's annoying.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I mean, you definitely get that. I've been at parties and stuff where there's like a gym guy who's like really jacked or whatever, and just starts like, I don't know, for whatever reason, kind of saying something like trying to startle me as a joke. I'm just like, I usually just give him nothing and walk away, like making jokes at me or whatever, like trying to act like he's tough. Or I'm just
Uh,
like, man, I don't know. What do you do?
what is it? What is it like for Paris though? When she is telling people that her man's a fighter, is that a hard thing for her to deal with? Is it? I mean, I always get curious about what it's like for the partner to be with a fighter. How does she
Yeah.
handle that?
Yeah, I don't know. She normally, I mean, you've met Paris, she's pretty good at talking and very, very kind person. So
I think it takes a very patient person to probably be with a fighter.
yeah, I'd say so.
Do you go into that camp mode where you end up becoming like a very focused and maybe even a bit asshole version of yourself, or is that not you when you're training?
I think getting close to the fight kind of just, you start, trying to just be a bit harder.
Yeah.
Just like tougher man, like, I don't know, you don't want to cuddle and kiss and just relax, or as much as you would normally, you kind of just distance yourself from those kind of nice, whatever it is, like, especially fight week, whatever, like, I don't really know. I don't know.
There's no
And then
cuddling. Poor Paris, man. When you're in training
no
camp, you don't
cuddling.
give her any cuddles.
I mean, training game, but like close to the fight, I don't
You're
know.
a dickhead, Rob. Come on, man. You can't sacrifice the cuddles. Jesus.
I think for them, like I've noticed this with other people's partners, like obviously they're getting a bit nervous and it's hard for them to watch someone fight. So they're like, I love you and trying to cuddle you, and like fight week, I don't really want that shit in my life. I just want to be focused on being
That's like
a fighter.
another one of your countrymen. I feel like I'm making all these connections to Australians, but Hugh Jackman, when he gets into character for Wolverine, it was a notorious little fun fact that during all of filming, he would only take cold showers, so he was always in a bad mood. Maybe you could test that out with this next upcoming camp, see if it
I'll do
gives you
some
an
cold
edge.
showers.
Yeah.
I've done cold showers before. It actually puts me in a good mood usually.
Really?
Cold showers put me in a good mood, yeah.
You a
Maybe
cold
just
plunge guy?
I have been. I haven't done it too much lately.
Yeah.
More of a sauna guy than a cold plunge, but
That's the way to go, man. You don't have to even do that. When you come back to Colorado, dude, you just walk around outside in the winter, you'll get your fucking cold plunge in.
I've never experienced when I was there for Feb, and it was like minus, I don't know Fahrenheit, but minus 20 degrees Celsius. It's
That's when you start getting low like that, the temperatures get pretty close to each other, so it's fucking cold. We can agree at
Yeah.
that. It's probably like 10, 11 degrees, dude. That's freezing.
Yeah.
So how many times do you think you want to fight next year? Obviously, you got a kiddo on the way, and that's an amazing thing. You think it's going to be, unfortunately, given that, a bit of a one, maybe two fight year for you, or are you trying to get more active?
I'd like to do 3 fights if I can.
Yeah.
I've got one booked early Feb, which is good. So then 2 more for the year. Have a little bit of time off after the baby comes. But I mean, I only fought once this year. So it's kind of hard going from, especially the tournament, like fighting 3-4 times. I fought 4 times in 2022. I fought 3 times in 2024. And then I fought once in 23 and once last year. So once is, I don't know, once is hard. Like two fights at least. But yeah, I'd like to fight 3 times.
There we go.
Need to get back in the green column and get kind of that momentum just moving again.
You if you're having a boy or girl?
A little girl.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah.
That's good luck with that, brother. I got 2 nieces, and I was so blessed to have a boy. I feel like they're a little bit easier, but I'm sure you're well suited for the job. You and Paris are going to be great parents, my man.
Thank you. Do you think boys are easy? I feel like girls could be easier until they're about the teenage years, and then it's hard.
I only know, like what Kelly tells me, and she says she was the worst teenager imaginable,
Yeah.
just constantly defying being a bitch. And
Yeah.
I want nothing to do with that. And I feel like I can be harder on my boy because I know he can take it. And if I had a girl, she might just melt me too bad. I'm a softie with him as it is, dude. And if I had a girl, they give you those puppy eyes and you're just going to, whatever you want, take it.
Yeah.
Yes. The answer is yes to everything. But I know we've been talking for a bit. I don't want to take up the whole entire of your day. I really appreciate the time, Rob. And thanks, man, for dropping that knowledge on us. Congrats, parents to be. That's exciting. And I'm serious about the Aussie trip, man. Whenever that is, hopefully be able to extend that trip to come and see you guys and congratulate you on the success and the new growing family, my man.
Yeah, definitely, man. It'd be good to see you.
Yeah, man. We'll make it out there, and I'm hoping that we'll be able to cross paths when we're on your side of the world.
Definitely. And when I fight, it'd be good to see. I'll probably be fighting in America, I'm sure, next year.
Whenever it is, dude, I'm going to be there, guaranteed.